Today on the Biz Talk, we're going to cover this topic. Should you work over another nail tech's work? Right now on the Biz Talk.
I heard a little twang in there. What was that?
A twang?
I did.
In my intro,
Yeah.
like a twang?
Yeah, a little something.
Like I'm a country guy?
Yeah.
Country guy? I'm a country guy, Trace.
You're a country guy. That's the correct terminology.
All right.
I got it.
I don't know what that was, but I'm a little out of practice, my intro. So, you're going to get what you're going to get.
I'll take the twang.
You take the twang. Okay. We have been getting this question actually quite a bit. We see it on Twitch. Mm-hmm. We see it on live streams, DMs. This is a topic that comes up quite a bit. You're a nail technician and in comes a new client.
Yep.
They sit in your chair and there before your eyes is another tech's work. So the question is always, can I just go right over this work, or do I need to take the time to remove it fully? And then it's like, what if the person comes in and they're like, well, I just need a fill, right? Like, no, I'm changing techs, but it's only been a couple weeks. Like, look, all I need is a fill. I don't want to pay for a fill. Like, you're going to get that.
Right.
So it can be a little bit of a challenging situation, which is why we get the questions so much. But what is the deal with this, Trace? Like, how should somebody handle this? And I know you're going to say yes and no, or it depends, or there's multiple situations, which we will talk about all of them. I already know the answer, but take it away, Trace.
Yes and no. There's multiple situations, and it depends.
Which is actually true.
It's very true.
Yeah.
Ideally, do I like to work over other people's work? Not usually, no, because you have the thought of like, okay, is it going to combine? Is their product going to work with my product? Is there going to be problems that really was caused by the other tech, but now I'm being blamed for it, and they want me to fix it? There's that. But like I just did a video actually with Kira. She had someone else do her nails, and she, we needed to do a video. The nails were very nice. There was no need for me to remove everything.
Got it.
I could do a fill. Now,
so, but you took a look at the nails.
I had her literally text me the picture of her nails.
Okay.
Because I've had this situation recently with a nail tech, just texting me. She's like, hey, this person, she was supposed to come in and get her full set. Her daughter, bless her heart, great daughter, went and had her, as a treat, took her to go get her nails done. And she wants me to just fill them and fix them. And I'm like, yeah, you need to text her and ask for the picture of the nails.
Yeah, fix is, there's an issue.
There's an issue, right? Yeah. There's correction now,
sure.
Right? Now, it might be just, the shape's not that great, not happy with the shape. Well, that we could still work. We can work with that, right? These were beyond that. And not putting anyone's, it just wasn't going to work. The amount of work that she was going to have to put into it to correct, right, wasn't worth her time. I'm like, you need to either one, tell her you're going to have to remove and reapply, which is a correction, which we charge for. It's more than a full set because I have to remove, or come in without them. And then we can just go into the full set. But it's not just, I can fill them and I can make corrections and it's going to be the price of a fill. Because I'm like, yeah, that's, and she didn't know what product had been used. You can go, has MMA been used? There's all kinds of, things that might take you a while to remove them. So the lady ended up not coming to her, which was fine. But this is why we love the day and age of text, because when someone books a fill with me, if you book a fill with me, if you're like, I have nails on and book a fill, I'm automatically going to say, hey, okay, cool. Can you text me a picture of your nails so I can see what I'm working with and if I can work with it and what the price range will be for you. And
would you have them take kind of close-ups? Because you want to see what's going on, right? Is there lifting? Is there...
What would be a good idea, now that you're saying that, it might be a good idea to have like 3 shots of examples that you shoot them. I need this shot, and this shot.
Yeah.
Can you send them to me?
Right.
Of your nails current situation.
Right now, not when they're done.
Yeah.
Don't send me the Instagram photo from the other
that
tech.
was 3 years ago for my wedding. Like, not even the nails.
Aren't these beautiful?
Yeah, they're gorgeous, but not the nails you have.
Yeah.
But that's what I love about the day and age is like it doesn't have to be that awkward conversation while they're in your chair. It can be the outside of it. Like that lady decided wasn't going to pay for it. The tech decided, well, I'm not going to do it for just a fill.
Yeah.
Conversation over.
Yeah, conversation over. Let me ask you this. What are you looking for then when a picture is texted to you? This is going to give you an idea of what you're working with, but what are you specifically looking for? So if I'm new, like this is going to help me, like what do I look for to know if I can work on top of those nails or not?
How grown out are they? So they might have been good nails, but now they're 6 weeks out.
Yeah, so that's
not a fill.
So let's just go on this. There's so many different areas we can go into.
That's why it depends.
Let's pull on this thread a little bit. So let's say it's 6 weeks grown out. Okay. Since normally you would just do a rebalance, which still takes as much time as a full set, but since it's somebody else's, or you would charge the same amount as a full set because it's a lot of work to rebalance, right? Because you got to move the upper arch back, and so if it's somebody else's work, would you then just go, let me just remove it all? Because if I'm going to do the rebalance, it's a lot of work. I might as well just give them a fresh set with all of my work on it. It's going to cost pretty much the same. What do you do in that situation?
You have to assess it. Like, am I able to work on this? What are they wanting? Is it like a full art and they just want you to combine the art with art you're going to do? Is it easy as a snap off and reapplication? You know, you have to give them options maybe and a price range. And then we have to assess when you get here. So what I mean by that, let's say the nails all look like they're down, Habib, but they have gel polish on. I can get an idea. I can kind of see around the cuticle, but I don't know what's going on underneath that.
Right.
So that, hey, it looks okay. Probably, if they're 6 weeks out, I'll probably tell them, like, probably just better off doing a snap off and reapplying. Because that's going to be starting at this price.
Right, exactly. Because even if you did a rebalance, let's say the nails are perfectly healthy and they're totally fine and you can rebalance them.
Yeah.
Since it's like a lot of work anyway to do that, wouldn't you just do the snap, like just change them out?
Probably.
Right.
Faster for you, I think, than, or have them removed before you get here, which is my favorite.
Yeah.
Don't damage your nails. Have them removed before you get here because I don't want to do it.
Right.
I really don't want to take that time to do it. So.
And when you say remove, like properly removed, you don't want them like.
We don't want that.
Yeah. You don't want them coming in like, oh, I cut the tips off, but they're still bulk.
Yeah.
And like, look, I removed them, and you have to like remove them all.
I could have done that in 2 seconds. So, and I don't want to see the teeth marks. Like, do it in the proper way, or this is the pricing.
Right.
There's options, right? It's either or. But again, there's always that disclaimer, right? Of we still got to check them out once you get here because I can't tell what's going on underneath. You may remove the gel polish and they have lifted all the way up, greenies underneath, all of this stuff that you couldn't see, but you can get a pretty good idea
from the picture.
From the picture,
yeah. So then that's interesting because I initially thought it was going to be. I don't know why I thought this because I know I've heard this answer before. I know you've said this before, but I thought the majority of the time it'd be like, let's not work on top of this. Let's just put a new set on, even if it's not needed. But that's, I think there is a lot of people that do that, right? They'll say, I absolutely do not work on top of other people's work.
Which is fine.
Is that like, that's okay? That's standard, right? Because they don't want to have issues or problems.
I got that way, but I had a full clientele.
Right.
So it was, I was taking a few people. You can put your foot down a little bit more, right?
Right.
I don't work on other people's work. Perfectly fine. If you want to come to me, that's the issue. Now, if I'm trying to build a clientele,
different story.
I'm going to take people with fills because I need clients, and I'm not going to argue with them and give them that decision of, well, I just want a fill. They can go somewhere else and just get a fill. So, that's once you start building your clientele, we can start eliminating things that we don't want to do anymore.
Right.
And we can start we have more hand.
It's demand, supply and demand.
Yep.
But I think this is an idea that it's so important for nail technicians to understand, right? This is a fundamental of business,
yep.
Of supply and demand, which, if you take economics, like it's one of the first things that we learn. And it's real though. The decisions that you're going to make, like this, do I work on top of people's, or can I just choose to just say, no, sorry, I don't work on top of other people's work. I'm going to remove the entire thing. And it's a full set price to get you started because I want it to be clean. Can you do those things? Should you do those things? I guess it depends on how patient you are too. In a client building process, if you're like, I can wait it out, I'm going to pick and choose my clients. If you have another income or something and you can wait, that's different. But if you have to build a business, like you got to kind of do what you got to do to bring those clients in, right?
Take what you can get. Like I said, you get more picky. We work more hours than we want. We work days we don't want to, and then we start refining. And the other thing I was going to say about the disclaimer, the other disclaimer that I give people if I am working over their nails is, listen, I don't think you're going to have a problem. Your nails look good. Kira's nails look great. The disclaimer is, you may run into issues as these two start to grow out and start to, the one's almost off, mine's kind of on like a 50. We might run into some issues. We might run into a breakage. If it's not that much, I'm going to fix it. No problem. I usually guarantee my work for 2 weeks. However, if there's a total breakdown of the product that's underneath, that's not me. So right. I have to charge you for the repairs.
Right. So ultimately, the nails are as good as what is bonding to the natural nail.
Yeah, because if the majority is someone else's work,
you're depending on somebody else's product, their technique, their application to hold those nails in, and you're going on top of that.
Yeah, and filling the very back.
Right. So that's a great disclaimer. You absolutely, need to have that. Let me ask you this too, Tracey. So how do you know if somebody comes in with MMA, because I've seen this a lot too, right? Especially on our Twitch. Like I had somebody come in with MMA. The nails look fine, but I don't know. I'm scared to remove it. I'm scared, because it's so hard. Like first of all, how do you recognize it's MMA? And then second of all, what do you do in that situation?
So like the picture that the lady sent the one girl, I could tell right away that was MMA.
How do you know?
It just has a look. I could tell.
Interesting.
But that doesn't mean that I always would be able to tell,
Yeah. In this situation.
I was able to tell. So, that's a hard one. And, there might be a problem with the bonding of the two if it is MMA. So that's why the disclaimer. Like, if the nails are good and I'm not sure if it's MMA, I'm probably just going to fill over them and be okay with it and give them the disclaimer. Now, if I have to remove that.
Like if there's lifting or if there's issues. Yeah, what does that look like?
A nightmare.
Yeah.
It's not fun to remove. And that's why, again, I got to the point that I don't remove I have it off before you come in.
Have it off before you come in because you're not going to, that was common at that time. Like
especially, it was very common.
Yeah, back then there was a lot more. I mean, it's
more.
Less and less, which is good now, but
great.
You still get it every once in a while.
Yeah.
But back then it was a lot more common.
Yep.
And you wouldn't deal.
Not after a while. No, I'm not doing that.
And that's even if it wasn't MMA, you got to the point where your clientele was full. It's like, if you want to be considered in my clientele, you wouldn't say it like that, but ultimately you got to have your nails off.
I don't work out for, yeah.
Yeah. You're not going to do it.
Yeah.
So interesting. That's the one area that what I think would freak me out is, you get these nails in and you're like touching them and feeling them and like, whoa, these are different. These are hard, right? Isn't it hard? It's like super hard.
And it kind of has that look. That's why I can kind of tell. I don't know. It's a different look.
Like a denture.
Yeah. Look, some crayons.
Yeah. Exactly. So interesting. I love that. That's really, really good information. I hope we were able to answer your questions. If you have other questions concerning this topic, please let us know in the comments below. Tracey, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for joining us. We will see you next time on the Biz Talk.
Subscribe channel now. Subscribe channel now. Sub and subscribe.